Anthony Joshua break his public silence for the first time since the crash. In a post that was shared to Instagram, the world heavyweight champion released an image alongside what appears to be perhaps the parents of Gami and Ayodele, offering a quiet but powerful tribute to two men.
That people came out to show their respects, but they also came out to support Anthony Joshua, because what must he be going through right now? You know?
What goes through a man's mind when he survives something his brothers didn't? And how do you keep standing when the people who helped hold you up are suddenly gone? All right, take a breath with me for a second, because this story isn't about belts, rankings, or who's fighting who next. It's about something heavier, something that hits even the toughest people right in the chest. For the first time since the crash, Anthony Joshua finally broke his silence.
And this is Anthony Joshua's first post since the tragic accident, okay? This came from his social media, and of course, if you guys didn't see it in the preview of the video, it was simple but strong and powerful. And it stated, "My brother's keeper." And in this situation, it means that he's going to take care of everything. He's responsible for his brothers.
And when he did, it wasn't with a statement or a press tour or some carefully planned message. It was quiet, almost painfully quiet. An Instagram post. No long caption, no explanation, just a photo of AJ sitting beside the parents and family members of Senami and Latif Lat's Idel, and 4 words underneath it: "My brother's keeper." That's it. And somehow that said everything. If you've followed AJ for years, you know how controlled he usually is. The posture, the calm voice, the way he keeps emotions locked down tight, especially in public. So when people saw that image, sitting shoulder to shoulder with grieving parents, you could feel the shift. This wasn't the heavyweight champion of the world. This was a man carrying something heavy, trying not to drop it in front of everyone. And here's the thing people forget. When tragedies like this happen, crowds don't just show up for the ones who passed. They show up for the ones left behind, too, because everyone was thinking the same question. What must Anthony Joshua be going through right now? After being discharged from a Lagos hospital, where he was treated following the crash that claimed the lives of his close friends, Senami and Latif Lat's Idel, AJ flew back to the UK. No delay, no hiding away. He went straight to London Central Mosque for their funeral. And that's where the cracks showed. There's footage, there are witnesses, there are small moments that tell the real story. AJ breaking down in tears, the normally unshakable presence, suddenly human in the most raw way possible. No cameras needed, no microphones, just grief doing what grief does. One moment in particular hit people hard. Spencer Fearon spoke about a brief interaction with AJ that day. No long conversation, no dramatic exchange, just a tap on the shoulder, a short chat, a quick embrace, and then AJ moved on. That's it. And yet that tiny moment said more than any interview ever could. In a place meant for mourning and reflection, AJ wasn't a champion, a brand, or a headline. He was a friend saying goodbye to brothers he loved. Funerals do that to people. They strip away everything unnecessary. And when Spencer said, "Funerals are never good," you could hear the understatement of the year. Because this wasn't just sad, this was life-altering. When AJ finally posted on social media for the first time since the accident, people were almost nervous to open it, expecting something polished, something distant. Instead, it was the opposite. Photos of him sitting with the families. No glamour, no filters, just presence. And that caption again, "My brother's keeper." That line matters, deeply, because it's not poetic fluff, it's a promise. It means responsibility. It means protection. It means, I've got you, even now. And suddenly, this wasn't about boxing at all. Johnny Nelson said something that cut straight through the noise. He pointed out that while people naturally focus on AJ, it's impossible to ignore the families who lost their sons. 2 young men, 2 lives gone instantly, 2 families shattered. And that's where the weight really sits for AJ. Because when tragedy hits people closest to you, your mind goes to places you didn't even know existed. Why them? Why not me? What if things had gone slightly differently? No training camp prepares you for that. Anthony Joshua has trained his whole life for pain, for pressure, for fear. But this kind of loss doesn't care how strong you are. It doesn't respect muscles, money, or fame. He said things after the funeral that revealed how deeply this has changed him.
This triumph-wide happiness within yourself, a true blessing, is actually making into this earth. Everyone dies some stage, you know. So I think across the board, one has to be happy inside. No matter if other material possession one owns, how that's a car and a driving. Very, very careful of other people we choose to hang around with and associate them, because you soon become like the people who spend merciful hell.
The sheep come to conjure around of lions. Sheep receive what I'm a lie.
So pick your friends and your circle wisely.
Much as the kids is,
It starts to flourish and grow, you know, and blossom, rather than perish, made away and die. So look at the environment.
Talking about life, about how simply making it on this earth is a blessing, about how everyone dies eventually, but the timing, the randomness, that's what destroys you. He talked about choosing the people you surround yourself with, how you become who you spend your time around, and how quickly everything can disappear. Those weren't words from a fighter. Those were words from someone who's seen how fragile the ground really is. Even fighters who don't always see eye to eye with AJ felt it. Jarrell Miller, of all people, reacted with genuine sympathy, because rivalry stops meaning anything when someone loses brothers like that. This wasn't about competition. This wasn't about trash talk. This was about human pain. Johnny Nelson said it best again when he reminded everyone that these men weren't just trainers. They were someone's children, someone's brothers, someone's whole world. And that's when boxing talk suddenly feels small, almost embarrassing. Plans, fights, beef, none of it matters when you're talking about lives lost in a heartbeat. Pain Game broke down the physical side of it, and honestly, that part is terrifying too. The crash itself was severe, violent, the kind of accident where surviving it all feels unreal. AJ walked away alive, but anyone who understands trauma knows the body isn't the only thing that gets hurt. This is a man who gets punched for a living, who doesn't flinch easily, and yet surviving something that killed 2 of the people closest to him, that leaves marks you don't see on X-rays. Your mind replays it over and over. Survivor's guilt creeps in quietly. You start asking questions with no answers. Why am I still here? And that's something AJ will carry for a long time. On top of all this, there's the legal aftermath. Nigerian authorities have charged the driver involved with dangerous driving after the Lexus SUV carrying AJ and his friends collided with a stationary truck. Reckless driving leading to death carries serious consequences in Nigeria: prison time, accountability. It's an uncomfortable layer on an already devastating situation, because while the law moves forward, grief doesn't pause. Eddie Hearn spoke about the responsibility AJ now feels, not as a boxer, but as a man, being there for the families, supporting them, making sure they're not forgotten when the cameras move on. And that's where that caption comes back into focus: "My brother's keeper." That wasn't symbolic, that was literal. John Fury, of all people, summed up what so many felt with a simple message: relief that AJ survived, heartbreak for the price he paid, gratitude and grief living side by side. Surviving something that kills the people next to you messes with your soul. You wake up thankful and guilty and broken all at once. Even Gareth A. Davis unintentionally highlighted how strange it feels to talk about fights now. Before the crash, discussions about AJ's next move dominated everything. Now, it feels almost wrong to speculate, because AJ's priorities have shifted from belts to breathing, from hype to healing. And then Tyson Fury, in a rare moment of pure clarity, reminded everyone of something bigger than rivalry, bigger than boxing. He spoke about compassion, about seeing each other as brothers and sisters, about choosing love instead of hate. In moments like this, those words land differently, because behind all the noise, there's a man who survived a nightmare and lost family in the process. So if you're watching this right now, take a second. Like the video if you felt this hit you. Subscribe if you want honest stories without the fake shine. And drop a comment. Not about fights, not about rivalries, just a thought, a prayer, or a reminder to drive safe and hold your people close. Because life doesn't give warnings. And to everyone watching, thank you for being here, for listening, and for carrying a little bit of this story with you.